Oh, before we was really interrupted by the software, gender roles.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Gender roles. So
Ask the
what
question.
is, well, I know we left off, like, I was talking about, how do you feel about gender roles in general? Like, you know, when they have the traditional gender roles of men being the protector, the provider, women being the nurturer, the stay-at-home person who cooks, cleans, this, that, and the other, and them listening to the man as being the head of the household because he's not only the breadwinner, but also, I guess, the one who is physically looked at as being a bigger, better person and stuff. So he should be the head of the household. Those traditional old time gender roles. Like, how do you feel about gender roles in general with nowadays?
I was with you until better. The man is the bigger person because, of course, he's just physically bigger and he's stronger and he can take on more physical responsibility. I think, your relationship is your relationship. Whatever you want to do with it is what you want to do with it. I'm more of a traditional kind of guy, so I do enjoy the idea of me being more of a man's man, while my chick is going to be like a lady, in those traditional rights as well.
So sexist.
I mean, call me sexist, but that's what I want. And I think we really, like, our biologies acquiesce to the idea really well. I think under it all, like, this whole social wave of women wanting to be completely equal to men and do everything men want to do, if everything happened to that end where, like, women are half of women, or half of the bricklayers are going to be women, half of construction workers are going to be women are paying for dinner as well now. It's not that fun. I kind of like it being unequal. I kind of like it that we have to pay for dinner, or we have certain responsibilities that we that kind of fall onto us, even though they're kind of a sacrifice. But then there's also the particular responsibilities, like being more nurturing, being more supportive, taking care more of the family, if it swings that way, that women take. And I think we complement each other really well like that. So I want my relationship to have more of that kind of traditional theme. But if my lady wants to work, it's 2019, it's almost 2020, let her work. So I'm kind of liberal in the choices that you have. Like, everyone should be able to do whatever they want, but I do want to keep certain traditional values in my relationship because I just like how it works like that. I like how a man and a woman, in the traditional sense, come together. There's a nice, I don't know, there's just a nice complementarity to it. How about you?
I mean, for the most part,
You trying to be a bitch?
I mean,
You trying to get pegged?
for
Be honest.
for the most part,
Tell the truth.
I get what you're saying, but I feel like it's tradition. It's ironic, actually. It's tradition for things to change. So, because nothing stays the same. I feel like a big part of why things were that way, like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, whatever, is because of the drastic, sexist, obvious, like, world we had lived in, as far as, like, women, like, 100, 150 years ago, like, weren't seen as nowhere near as, like, you can never do what a man do. So of course he's gonna go out and have the job at the factory, at the train rail yard, at this, that, and the other, while you stay at home and you just cook and clean and stuff. So of course he's automatically the breadwinner, and obviously he's bigger and stronger, so he's the protector, this, that, and the other, da da da. And just throughout history in general, men were looked at as the more superior creatures. Like, they would say, which is ironic, actually, what I'm about to say, because a lot of women be in the kitchen, but throughout history and whatnot, there was this thing to where men were considered the greatest chefs in the world and stuff, and this, that, and the other. And just
They've been considered by who? The greatest chefs.
Well,
I know the most famous chefs have been men.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Most famous / greatest, because perspective is everything. But, like, it's just been throughout history a whole world of like men being this, that, and the other. Like it's so great, and women, for the most part, almost being like a life secretary, like nothing but an assistant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't. But what I'm saying is, times have changed. Like we've not only not been as sexist as we were in the past, but also we've learned that hey, like when it comes to accounting or when it comes to all these other jobs that don't require a lot of physical labor, hey, a woman can be just as effective as a man or maybe even more, whatever. So it's like,
Yes.
yeah, like nothing wrong with a woman going half up on like bills and stuff and all that. Nothing wrong with a woman who, oh, okay, the man wants to take you out, he takes you out or whatever, 2-3 dates, fourth date. Nothing wrong with a woman paying on that fourth date and stuff like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like gender roles can start to more so be a little bit more equal, not completely equal, but a little bit more equal, a little bit more understandable.
Yeah, a bit more fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to absorb what you just said. You said that women can pay for the like a fourth date or something like that, like a little bit of give and take, but it sounds like you're more still siding towards traditional values, but there's a little bit
Give your example how I'm siding toward traditional.
because you said men are still paying for the dinners, but maybe on the third or fourth date the woman grabs her wallet, and men are still working like the kind of the tough physical jobs, but the ones that aren't so physical, women are kind of reaching into those industries. Am I giving a good representation of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I do think our psychologies just naturally do favor tradition. I think a lot of times, like tradition is there for a reason. A lot of times we like say society constructed this or society constructed that or tradition this and the old way of doing it. But like a lot of times they're there because naturally people decided it to be that way because it kind of suits our biology or suits our psychology.
Go ahead.
Let me explain. So
I'm definitely about to argue that point down, but go ahead.
because I mean, tradition between men and women started from caveman days, dude. Mm-hmm. It started from when men used to go outside and gather resources, and women used to stay at home and watch the offspring. And it makes more sense for our biology to work like that or our physicalities because men are the stronger, the more vicious, the more aggressive gender. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And women are actually are biologically developed better to take care of offspring, and that's biological because I mean the fact that firstly the fact that they actually grow the newborn in their womb gives them a certain attachment that we don't have as men. They're more agreeable, they're more able to take care of something like a child, which is fucking God knows fucking annoying half the time, but they can deal with that better than a man can. Let a fucking caveman snap out in rage one time and just club that baby on the head. It's gone.
So can a woman. It's a baby, nigga.
Yeah, it can, but like women are better. Females are better evolved to not be aggressive to a child, basically.
It's actually the opposite. You ever heard of postpartum depression?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're aggressive to the child. That means they're aggressive to themselves.
No, they're also aggressive to the child. You need to do more research. It's kind of scary, actually. It's actually normal, quote unquote, to some form of fashion for the woman to not only feel like her life is over and this, that, and the other and stuff, but to also think like, do I need this baby? Should this baby even be here? Da 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 and all that, like, all that type of shit.
Like, that's interesting. But from what I can tell, I have heard of that term, but I didn't know that it actually applies to the baby and the woman not wanting the baby to be there either. But from what I can tell, across the board, generally, women they're able to.
I think you're trying
they're more able to take care of a child than a guy is naturally.
No, No,
Yes.
I
First
just,
of all, they have breasts that they can feed the child naturally, so that's one leg up already. Is that not a leg up? Can your tits shoot milk? Because you do have tits.
I do.
Can they shoot milk?
No.
There you go. Listen, you're already a notch down. What's more?
But what you said automatically put you 10 notches down, because that doesn't necessarily make women more better or more suited.
It
to
makes
take care
their
of a
biology better suited to take care of a child. Yes, it does, because they can actually naturally feed a child. We don't have that natural ability to feed a child.
Okay, so a woman providing breast milk to a baby, like through just her own body, period. Yes, they can do that. Men cannot. But that literally is the only thing.
I think naturally their psychological traits, or the traits that tend to be more geared towards female psychology, are better for taking care of a child. Like being more agreeable.
No, I don't. I don't feel that way. I think that like it's all about, of course, circumstance. Circumstance not only of how the parent was raised and how they interact with children.
Yeah,
and stuff,
definitely.
but also,
I think it switches. I mean, I don't think it's completely one and one across the board, but I think there's a tendency to lean one way. Like if you had two best friends, okay? Let's just say an average girl is a best friend and an average guy best friend. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you have a dog, like you have Whiskey, or you have a child, and for whatever reason you can't be there for a weekend. Who are you, if you had to pick one, who are you leaving your child with?
whether a man or woman, depends upon who I trust more.
Let's say you trust them about the same.
Honestly, like,
They both have the same work schedule, so they're both going to be in the house as much as each other. And you're just thinking about, okay, well, who's it going to be?
whoever answered the text first at that point. I don't care. If I trust them
If you
the
had to
same,
pick one.
whoever answered the text first. That's if I had to pick
If
one.
God said, no, you have to pick one. We answered the text at the same time. Or you read
That's
them.
literally impossible.
Or you read them 2 hours later,
Once
but
again,
they both
literally
arrived.
impossible.
They both arrived at 6:17. Not literally impossible. That could happen.
You can read two text messages at the same time.
No, like
That's what I'm saying. No
you're
matter
saying
if they
which one's gonna be
arrived
on
at the
top?
same
Get
time.
the fuck,
Exactly.
dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Stop.
I don't. If you not understanding my concept of trust, like I don't care. You're trying. What you're trying to do.
I'm trying to demonstrate something to you.
No. You're not trying to demonstrate something. What you're trying to do
but you
is
won't-
trying
you
to
just won't.
passive aggressively force my train of thought towards who you picking.
I'm trying to demonstrate something to you
No,
because this
you're
is
not.
real, and you, for whichever reason, want to ignore the fact that it's real. That women just have. There's something about women that makes them, on average, more naturally. More naturally perceived to take care of children better, and that's probably also why the law system favors them as well in terms of custody of children. It's probably something to do with it. Something about women, dude.
No, like
Yeah,
what I can
yes.
give you,
Yes, dude.
is the fact that women, like obviously it takes two to make a baby, but women can feel a little bit more attached because yes,
They carried it for 9
like
months.
they carried it for 9 months. Like they literally, the baby was literally eating off what they ate. Like,
And that's not
kicking
a
them,
small thing.
XYZ,
And we
da,
don't
da,
have
da.
that.
Yeah, it's not at all. Women.
There's that, and then there's the breast
The
milk.
pregnancy and labor and stuff is definitely not a small thing at all.
Yeah. Then there's the breast milk as well.
But what I'm saying is, I'm also a firm believer up in that there are men out there who can take care of a child with just as much love and nurtureness and all that stuff, like as a woman.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that fact, but I think on average, for whatever reason, women tend to be more nurturing. I mean, women are more nurturing by their nature, right? They say women are more nurturing, men are more about discipline and I guess aggression and whatnot. But
Question:
Women are
do
more
you
nurtured
think
by
we
nature.
naturally like that, or do you think society has made us like that?
I think both. I think we are naturally like that. Like I said, that's exactly what I mean. Like when people say society has made you like that, I mean society was born of human beings. So I think
So you're saying our natural instincts put us in these gender roles?
yeah, and I think society, because it's born from human beings, has only perpetuated them. It's just made them a bit stronger, maybe. But
So
I
you're
think naturally,
saying
for sure.
So you're saying, in general, society has put it along the right path. It's just that sometimes it can go a little too far.
Yeah, that's exactly it.